Well, guys, did you hear the tablets with an open eye, ears, and mind? You know, it's said that if you read the emerald tablets with an open mind, your wisdom will increase tenfold. What did you guys think of that journey into those tablets? There was a couple of times when I was reading that I kept thinking on like something that I read before the paragraph that I was moving on to. It was weird and it was pretty cool too. Like this vibration moving from the words on the page to the words that I was saying out loud to this vibration within me. I know a couple of times I kind of got tongue tied on some of the words, and that was typically why, because I was feeling this vibration moving through me with those words. It was pretty amazing. So, yeah, let's kind of recap the Emerald Tablet. So, Thoth is told by his father, excuse me, to go to the land of Kim to, kickstart civilization, right? And so he comes off of his starship, and the barbarians, the men of the caves, start going to attack. But Thoth raises his staff and freezes them. Pretty cool, huh? And he's like, hey, I'm here to help. I want to elevate you. I want to bring you into a higher civilization, right? Then, when that civilization was built, he told them, now spread out across the world. Now, we do, of course, have evidence of that spreading out. I mean, pyramids all over. And it even spoke of the Mayas. And speaking of pyramids, I mean, they're pretty important, huh? I even read somewhere that to this day, people will go and lay down in a pyramid and speak the words Dor-e-Lila. Dor-e-Lila. And that's spelled Dor-E-Lil-A. And they do this in hopes to transcend this plane like Thoth had described in Tablet 15. Now, of course, the tablets have been interpreted in different ways through time. I mean, of course they have. It's that beautiful wiggle room that allows the mind to be free and, opens the heart. So, yeah, there was so much in those 15 tablets. I mean, coming from Thoth, being handpicked by the gods to bring the messages to the children of light. And what about the formula to draw in the light through space-time, where, you call in the 7 lords? Now, I got some thoughts on this, the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, by their names to banish the darkness. Now, what if these 7 lords of time and space are like the chakras, the energy centers? I mean, he did say each with his powers. You see how the brain has this wiggle room to imagine the possibilities. I mean, is it a spell? Or, I don't know, we did learn that Isis went to Thoth to, help with the resurrection of her husband, and Thoth gave her the words. So, yeah, it's a possibility. And what are spells anyways, Don't we spell all the time with our words anyways? So, is the names and the ancient chants, is it something to cleanse the body? I mean, think about it. If the message was to go in a room of darkness and call upon the powers of the 7, it sounds like to me that there is some cleansing going on with the body to ignite the fire within. Like, that's literally what I picture. Like, going into my room, laying in my circle of protection, closing my eyes, it's dark all around, and the first thing that I'm going to do is go through my 7 energy centers and balance them, cleanse them as I begin to do whatever I'm doing in meditation, whether I want to transcend time and space, astral travel a little bit, just allow my mind to play. It really boils down to having that power of remembering the fire within. Remember fire, the inner fire, is the most potent of life force. Yeah. And when I read that, I just smiled. That really means something to me. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that a guide I had been working with, another me, told me that I would be working with fire. And at that time, I thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. I was like, I don't even have a draw towards fire, so why am I going to be working with it? And it wasn't long after that that I began to create tons of like light language transmissions, songs dealing with the inner fire. And I didn't even realize it until months and months later that I had been working with this flame of the heart, this inner fire, this fire within. So, you know, to read that, it was like something I knew but didn't know at the same time. And, well, I still don't fully understand the capacity of it, truly. Yeah, I know that after reading these, that more is going to kind of trickle down into me, and I'm going to have this understanding or this understanding about it all. But yeah, right now I don't even understand the capacity of all of this. But I do know, and I have known, but I don't know, that there is something significant about the flame within. And it's also been like a motto too for me. When I think about it, does it spark the fire within my heart? You know, what does spark the fire? Knowledge, learning, and journeying into the beyond. So guys, if it does you too, make sure you follow or subscribe from wherever you might be listening from in your favorite spaces. We are the children of light, the children of the flame, for man is the fire burning bright through the night. We are the light in the darkness. I think we've just forgotten that, or we've been programmed otherwise. Remember, Thoth did speak of these low vibe entities in the world being unseen by men and the wars between dark and light. We must recognize the light within us. We must know and embody the light that we actually are. Oh, yes. Feed the fire within you. I think that in itself, that kind of wraps up the theme of these emerald tablets. I acknowledge all that we are, and to transcend the barriers of this plane, like using that knowledge in that way to transcend, to ascend, to interscend. Now, I also wanted to talk about the other emerald tablet. What? Huh? There's another emerald tablet. Yeah. See, back in the day when my friend's grandmother's spirit threw a green tablet at me. Yes. In meditation, my friend's grandmother, who had recently passed, approached me, and she actually threw a green book at me. Now, I didn't know anything about the emerald tablets then, never even heard of it. But after a few other synchronicities started rolling in around that time, I started trying to figure out what in the world this green thing was. And I finally figured it out. When I finally came across the emerald tablets, I just had this resonance within me. I was like, yep, this is what all these synchronicities are about. However, I got very confused. Like, who is Hermes? Who is Thoth? Why are these two different versions? Why are there two different versions of the emerald tablets and so on? And that's when I came across all of that, and my brain just kind of like switched off at that time, and I really felt that it wasn't time for me. So yeah, the reading of those emerald tablets of Thoth the Atlantean was the first time I have ever read it. I kind of figured it was time now, finally. However, back in the day before my brain did shut off, I did read the emerald tablet that was of Hermes, and was said to be found by this guy Balinus, however you would like to pronounce it. Balinus said he found it in this cave upon a statue holding it, Many say that the statue was Hermes Trismegistus, but of course, another debate. There's even debate about whether this actually happened too, right? I mean, the oldest documentable source of the Emerald Tablets text is the Kitab Sur al-Haqi, which is interpreted to be the book of the secret of creation and the art of nature, which was itself a composite of earlier works. This was an Arabic work written in the 8th century AD and attributed to Belinus. It is Belinus who provides us with a story of how he discovered the Emerald Tablet in the cave tomb. Now, based on his Arabic work, some believe that the Emerald Tablet was also an Arabic text and written between the 6th and 8th centuries, rather than a piece of work from antiquity. I love all these debates within history. It's like, but have you thought of this? Or, ooh, what if this happened, right? Again, it really leaves this wiggle room for the imagination to play, and it lets you kind of step outside of the box and see the possibilities. I love it. So let me read you this Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Now, there is a translation from that book that we talked about from Belinus. Well, there are many, many translations. I'm actually going to read an Arabic translated version. So here we go. Here is that which the priest Sagius of Nabolis has dictated concerning the entrance of Belinus into the hidden chamber. After my entrance into the chamber, where the talisman was set up, I came up to an old man sitting on a golden throne, who was holding an emerald tablet in one hand. And behold, the following. In Syriac, the primordial language was written therein. 1. Here is a true explanation, concerning which there can be no doubt. 2. It attests the above from the below, and the below from the above, the work of the miracle of the One. 3. And things have been from the primal substance through a single act. How wonderful is this work! It is the main principle of the world and its maintainer. 4. Its father is the sun and its mother the moon. 5. The wind has borne it in its body and the earth has nourished it. 6. The father of talisman and the protector of miracles. 6a. Whose powers are perfect and whose lights are confirmed. 7. A fire that becomes earth. Separate the earth from the fire. Separate the earth from the fire. So you will attain the subtle as more inherent than the gross, with care and sagacity. 8. It rises from the earth to heaven, so as to draw the lights of the heights to itself, and descends to the earth. Thus within it are the forces of the above and the below. 9. Because the lights of lights within it, thus does the darkness flee before it. 10. The forces of forces, which overcomes every subtle thing and penetrates into everything gross. 11. The structure of the microcosm is in accordance with the structure of the macrocosm. 12. And accordingly proceed the knowledgeable. 13. And to this aspired Hermes, who is threefold graced with wisdom. 14. And this is his last book, which he concealed in the chamber. Now, you already know there are tons of interpretations, so I feel like I'm just going to kind of give it a go and tell you mine, okay? So let me look back on this. Line 1. Here is a true explanation. Well, that just sounds like I tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Line 2. The miracles, the one with the above and below concept, right? As above, so below, as above, right? Hold on, I think I said that wrong. As above, so below, as above. Yeah. So with this one, I've had many like direct experiences that has shown me like the depth of this one. I know we have spoke before about the macrocosm and the microcosm, the out there and the inner here, the inside of you, within you, how they will kind of like reflect each other, right? And on one scale, you can kind of look at this as like, let's say planets in a certain placement. Oh, Pluto just moved into Taurus. Something is happening on the micro. And so you begin to experience this energy in the micro, like a transformation within the home. It actually reflected the energy in a personal way, the micro within. However, we have to keep in mind to seek the micro to understand the macro. So you got to go within. You got to learn about you, and that's all that really means. People say all the time, go within, go within, go within. But for somebody that hasn't been on this path, go within is very frustrating. What do you mean, go within? And that's all it is. Learning about you, knowing you, healing you, sitting in a space with you, loving you. And the more you do, the more that you understand the outside of you, the micro, the macro. And I've had experiences with the so above and so below when working with my higher self. Honestly, not even quite sure that I can truly explain that. I mean, I can say it and it sounds right, but I'm like, how in the world am I going to explain that? I guess it was as if my higher self, like, let's say that version of me is learning and growing or ascending to, and it feels like it kind of trickles down to me. And vice versa, as I evolve and do the work inside, it's as if my higher self is able to continue in our ascension. Now, what if that too has to do with the union, like the light? We shall meet in the stars filled with the light, knowing that we are the all, as all things are as one. I am you and you are me. And, well, I am my higher self, and she, I, which is pretty much the third line. We are the main principle of the source, the all. Oh, yes. So what are your thoughts on the above and so below concept? What do you think? What do you feel about that? Let's see. 4. It's the father, the sun, and it's the mother, the moon. 5. The wind had borne it in its body, and the earth has nourished it. Now, I'm going to read this other version too. Another version says the wind carried it in its belly, and the earth nursed it. I think it may mean that the universe is also the soul. Like we are a part of it all, the all. So it's kind of like a power punch statement, I feel, that says, hey, you're so much more than you've ever been taught, because you are of the all. You are also the soul of the universe itself. The Father, the Son, the fire, the mother, the moon, the water, the wind, the earth, the trees, the rivers, and the birds. You are the all. Now, what is this Father's talisman, though, and the keeper of miracles, or the protector of miracles? I feel like this is this kind of showing the manifesting of who you are in your totality. Like having the awareness that you are all. You are the talisman, keeper of miracles, and yet the miracle you are. You are an ever-expanding miracle of consciousness itself, of the all, whose powers are perfect. And that's spoken of in line 6. And then in line 7, a fire that becomes earth. You're becoming one with all around you. Yeah. A fire that becomes earth. If you have realized at this point that you are the all, well, you are filled with light. You are filled with that fire. Therefore, a fire that becomes earth. You're becoming one with all around you. However, if you've gone through your spiritual awakening, then you kind of can see this as steps. Like, you realize you're one with all, but now you got to separate from the earthly. And I feel like that's line number 8. The things that you think makes you you. The body is just flesh. It is not who you truly are. Now, let me see. In another version on 7, it says to feed the earth from that which is subtle with the greatest power. Oh, maybe as you separate from the material things of earth and who you thought you were, you actually begin to raise your vibration, and in return you nourish, you feed the earth itself with something so subtle, like a shift within you, but of great power. I feel that. And I can totally see that within like my whole spiritual awakening process, right? Being who I am today, I can see this as like a step by step. Now, line 8, I feel kind of recaps the fact that you draw this light into you from your highest self, from source, this beautiful energy that helps you to evolve, to ascend, to transcend. Thus, within it are the forces of above and below. Yeah. And 9, wow. Thus, the light is within it. Then the darkness flees. Yeah. How powerful it is to know you. To know you. The light. The all. And in 10, I feel like it's saying light can overcome all. Small or big. Like it is a force of forces. Yeah. You're a force. 11. I feel like it brings back in the concept of the micro and the macro, right? The micro and the macro. Showing that by being the light, being you, you can create change, shifts within the macrocosm, shifts out there. A new world can be created, new ways of being or doing can be created with your light, which I feel like 12 can mean. Line 13 speaks of Hermes gaining this wisdom, threefold graced with wisdom. Oh, hold up now. Remember the 3 thing? Hey. On our episode before I began reading the Emerald Tablets, I was talking about the 3s. Something about 1 becomes 2 and 2 becomes 3, and how like a lot of things were popping up for me about the 3s. As if it's something more that I need to know about it. But then I think, oh, lo and behold, in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he spoke on the 3. I think it was the tablet 15. The whole tablet is filled with messages about the 3 being a mystery from the Great One. Which one I'm thinking about kind of correlates to the Emerald Tablets of Hermes. It said, 3 are the paths of the soul: man, liberty, light. And well, if that doesn't sum up the Emerald Tablets, I mean, at least in my mind it does. I could be totally off, but it feels so right. Man, liberty, light. 3 paths of the soul. I mean, we go through life lost as man, programmed sometimes, more than likely, to be less than what we truly are. And then we come to a point to where we start asking questions and we grant ourselves liberty. We seek knowledge. We learn about ourselves and who we truly are. And we become the light. We know the light. We know we are light. So I'm going to leave you with that. Until next time, keep journeying into the beyond.